Hi all, this is Rebecca for Alien Buddha Press, and today I am reading Theresa Jacobs's Beast of Burden Horror Showdown Finalist number 5. Since this is a little bit of a longer story, I'm going to do this in 2 parts. No, 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 Mallory reeled. Unable to move her head, her eyes roved the darkness, searching for the beast to come. She gritted her teeth. The tension built in her jaw, tightened down her neck, pulled cords of muscle up from her collarbone and etched unrelenting pain across her back. Move, wake up, fuck, her brain screamed. All she could do was twitch as the elongated, inky fingers curled over the footboard. Please, God, if you're there, help me. She pleaded for the 8th or 10th time. She'd lost count of how many nights the demon had risen for her. It moved ever so slowly, taunting her. The raisin-black shimmer of its head appeared, and its endless, eerie pits, where eyes should reside, peered at her. A grin cleaved its face in two, revealing rows of chattering steel teeth, and though her body may be paralyzed, her bladder was not. The sound of pebbles rolling together on a beach, mixed with the hiss of air from an open pipe, escaping the demon's throat, and she thought, "It's laughing at me." The long, wet tongue lashed out and wrapped around her right foot. Though she couldn't move, scream, or flee, her body shivered uncontrollably in response, and she was sure the thing enjoyed that too. A new voice spoke from far away, and light, blessed light, flitted across her vision. Help! She longed to cry out for real, yet her throat held fast. The monster, now perched upon her shins, wavered like horizontal lines in a vintage television. Mallory wiggled her fingers. I can move. Light glared against her closed eyelids as though she were outside basking in the sun. Mallory, look, she's waking up, a voice said near her face. She moaned, bringing her hand up to shield her eyes. Words seemed impossible, and she licked her lips, still unable to open her eyes against the glare. A strong, concerned voice spoke. Please, take your time, Mallory. Nurse, dim those lights. Someone took her hand. Another one pressed against her shoulder. Try again. Your husband is right here. Opening her eyes a hair width, she could make out forms shifting around in the light. Am I dead? A soft kiss touched her forehead, and her eyes opened further under the protective shadow. A familiar reddish-brown beard tickled her nose. Liam? Thank Christ you're all right, Mal. I thought... No, never mind. You're awake and that's all that matters now. Welcome back, sweetie, he said, kissing her lips. Where are we? She asked, confused by the doctor to her left and the white drop ceiling overhead. The doctor stepped closer. Mallory, I'm Dr. Chaudhary. You're with us at the General Hospital. 4 days ago, you suffered a slight cerebral hemorrhage. Thankfully, your husband noticed the change in your speech and called 911 immediately. We had to place you in a light coma to control the bleeding. Your body recovered remarkably well, as it should at your age, but it's always a welcome sign. We'll just want to run a few more tests, and within a day or two, you return home, and it's back to life as usual. She glanced from the doctor to her husband and back again. A coma? But she's safe now, right, Doc? It won't happen again, Liam asked. The doctor smiled. A few more tests to be 100%. Now that she's alert and talking, everything will be just fine. Liam nodded and brushed the hair from Mallory's forehead. Thank you, really. I can't thank you all enough. I'll get the MRI booked, Mallory, the doctor said, drawing her attention. Continue to rest. I'll have the nurses set up your meals for tonight and tomorrow. We'll talk again in 48 hours, okay? Sure, she managed, still tired and confused, but anxious for him to leave so she could talk privately with her husband. The moment the door closed, she said to Liam, I was in a coma? Mallory hurried to the bathroom and gagged over the toilet. Are you okay? Liam called, getting up from the bed and following her. She waved back at him, trying to indicate she was fine. She loved him, but was finding his concern tedious in the few months since her ordeal. Nausea. Maybe dinner didn't agree with me. Hon, that was 14 hours ago. If it was dinner, you'd have been sick already. Me too, and I feel great. Lucky you, she thought, wiping her lips on a tissue. He continued, maybe we should go back to the house. No, I mean, she said, softening her voice. No, I'm okay. It's probably a bug or something. After 4 more mornings of nausea and extreme sluggishness midday, it hit her. I'm pregnant? I can't be. We were told. Her mind spun through the past years of trying and the tests and the fact they were informed the only chance for them was adoption. Keeping the thoughts to herself, Mallory left work early and stopped at a pharmacy before racing home to take the test. It's positive. She stared at the stick, reread the package buried in the garbage, and used the second stick. It too came back positive. I can't believe it, she said, rubbing her belly. It happened after all these years. She grinned, excited to tell Liam. She dug the first test out of the can, needing both as proof. There's no need for both of us to miss work, Mallory said when Liam entered the waiting room. He smiled, taking her hand. Are you joking? Our first ultrasound, Mal. I wouldn't miss this for anything. She pursed her lips to bite back how the money loss was even more important now. The last thing she wanted was another fight. The nurse called them in, and Mallory got situated on the hard table, giving her instructions to prepare the technician, and left. Liam leaned over, placing a warm kiss on her exposed belly. I love you, little nut. He straightened when the door opened. Howdy, folks. You ready? The older, balding man in a lab coat asked. Liam moved to the foot of the table, while cold gel was squirted on Mallory's stomach. Oh, she flinched. Sorry, the technician said. These rooms aren't warm enough to heat this stuff up. Here we go. He pressed the wand into Mallory's flesh. Ah, looks like you're 12 weeks along. 12? Mallory asked, glancing to Liam, who had leaned in closer, enthralled, not noticing her concern. Must not be an exact science, more like 14 weeks or less, 10 weeks maybe? She tried to remember back before the incident that landed her in the hospital. They didn't have sex for a month prior, maybe even longer. They'd both been stressed from work and had a few fights. In fact, she worried they might be calling it quits until the scare brought them closer. The wand moved, drawing her attention back to the screen. Her heart leapt at the sight. What's that? The technician's hand stopped moving. There's the head, and you see the body. No, there. She pointed at the screen and shuddered as the huge empty eye socket stared out at her. A segregated tail unfurled between the legs and lashed against her belly. She pushed the wand away and grabbed the paper wrap to wipe her stomach. Liam held her foot. Mel, stop. What's wrong? I will be back with part 2.